Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I was just live in the community, Rise and Thrive Womenpreneurs community for introverts, and got off the live. Everything was great, was setting up for this free training that I hold every Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and something went crazy with my camera. Just that quick. But how many of you know that we still keep going? We still keep rolling, even though sometimes things happen, we keep going. There's just some things that we can't control. It's unforeseeable, but we keep going. We keep moving forward. And, it reminded me of, and I'm not going to get too far into this, but it reminded me of why I do what I do, why, as an introvert, I am so big on us being visible, but being visible in our own way, and also leaning into our strengths as our superpowers. The reason why I do this, and I just want to share this really quickly. I hadn't planned on sharing this, but as I was working through the camera issues, it was really strong within me to just share this with you all. I remember at one point in time, and this is just a part of my entire the encompassing of who I am and what I am in business. Um, I remember starting my business and just really being gung ho. Hey, Halima, thank you for joining. Really being gung ho, just moving forward, knowing that this is absolutely what I'm supposed to be doing. And then things just kind of shifted, and I moved into another area of business. And I began to um, really, I hired, I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. I hired multiple coaches. I hired a lot of coaches over the years. I will say I've spent upwards of $20,000 in coaches. And what happened each time was I would walk away depleted and defeated. I would walk away depleted in that my confidence, um, my money was gone, just different things, but I didn't see the results that they were promising. And then I walked away defeated in that, oh my goodness, here we go again. So I probably hired about 4 or 5 coaches over the years. And again, things just did not work out the way they said that they would, or with the way that I thought that they would. And so I kept pressing forward, though. After a while, I started thinking, you know what? I am going to figure this thing out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to work through it. And now keep in mind, I was getting clients here and there, not a problem, but it wasn't the way I knew it was supposed to be. And so I remember going on a podcast, and it was a panel podcast, and it was the host, it was myself, and then one other person. So there's 3 of us total. And before we went live, they said, okay, well, we're going to just kind of get to know one another, introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about what we do and how we serve others. And the host went first, told their story, introduced themselves, and then the next person, the other panelist, hey, Lindsay. And then the next panelist came on, introduced themselves, told their story. So then it comes time for me to come in and introduce myself and then share my story, talk about how I'm serving people. And I remember introducing myself. And then when I got to the part of how I serve other people, they couldn't hear anything. They heard everything that I said up until that point, but they couldn't hear anything once I said how I started serving people. I want you to just walk with me through this. No technical issues, none whatsoever. prior to that had just recently been on recording a show of my own, episode of my own on my own podcast, just moments prior. So no issues, gave my introduction. But then when I get to the part where this is who I serve and how I serve them, they couldn't hear anything I was saying. So I'm thinking, what in the world, you know, do whatever I know to do, try to cut the mic off and on, flip the switch, all of this stuff. And then they said, oh, okay, we can hear you now. Hey, Sandra, thank you so much for joining. And then they can hear me. So I said, okay, great. So I go into, finishing up or trying to get into who I serve and how I serve them. And they said, oh, wait a minute, Karena, we can't hear you. So as soon as I got to that part, again, they could not hear me. They could hear everything up until I started speaking of who I served. And so I said, oh my goodness. At this point, I'm just kind of embarrassed. I'm like, what in the world? I don't know what's going on. So I said, I'm going to leave out of the Zoom and I'm going to come back into the Zoom. So they said, okay, great. Did that, came in, went out, came back in. Same thing happened again. I said, okay, I'm going to try one more time. At this point, I am so flustered. I am like heated on the inside, but I'm smiling the whole time. But I'm thinking, what in the world is really happening? Yeah, it was a lot. I almost wanted to give up. I really did. I agree. It was enough to make someone want to give up. I almost gave up. And so I go back in. Now, keep in mind, this is like the fourth time. And so when I get back in, they said, Karena, we can hear you, but we can't see you. And I said, okay, one more time. I go out, come back in. And when I came back in, they said, we sat here and we waited for you to come back in. We wanted to tell you that we both agree that in some area in your life, you're not being seen and you're not being heard. They said, you're not being seen and you're not being heard. And I immediately burst into tears because I knew exactly what they were talking about. I had this amazing business idea, conception, everything, but I did not feel like I was being seen and I did not feel like I was being heard by the people that I knew I could make the most impact in their lives. And I cried. I cried to the point where I felt like it was cleaning me out. And I said, exactly. Yeah, we fight not against flesh and blood. Yes. And so I immediately just was like, I couldn't stop crying. And I remember that feeling. I remember thinking at that moment, this is what people that I serve, what I want, the people who I want to serve, this is how they feel. They're trying everything that they know. They're doing everything they can think of, but they're not being seen and they're not being heard by the people that they want to serve. And that feeling has never left me to this day. It has never left me. So when people want to know, why am I doing all that I'm doing? Why am I so visible? Why am I so upfront and center? Because I need you to know you can be seen and you can be heard, but it can be in your own strength. It doesn't have to be with trends and it doesn't have to be with, mimicking other people, but you can absolutely find that way that fits you and your personality so that you're able to be seen and you're able to be heard by your ideal client. Again, I hadn't planned on talking about this today, but I wanted to share this because it came up. I started thinking about it just before I got on. And I said, I want to share this with you all because I want you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I feel what you feel when you are so absolutely and incredibly frustrated with the fact that you are posting. I've been on lots of calls with lots of folks, and the comment is, I just need to post more. I just need to be consistent. I just need to, and and those are not the things that's going to help you be visible. Those are not the things that's going to help you be um seen and heard. Having the right strategy is what's going to do it. Being aligned with the right person who can help support and guide you through that strategy is what's going to do it. This is not a sales call. This is not a sales live or anything like that. Again, this was not the direction I planned to go in. But I want you to know, like I said in the beginning, I have paid upwards of $20,000 for coaching various coaches and walked away fully and completely depleted, defeated. So when I say I know, I have been there, I get it. I get it. I understand fully. And this is not a game for me. This is I'm serious about. Eat, breathe, and sleep this, because I know what it's like to continuously be out there hustling and grinding, trying to figure it out and still getting nowhere. So, just a little bit to add, even before I even get started into, and I'm not even, I'm just going to go through what I wanted to talk about today because I still feel like it's valuable and I want to make sure you get it. But I wanted to go through that because I wanted you to understand where I'm coming from and why I'm coming the way I am, why I go so hard. I remember back in the day, we used to say going hard in the paint, and that's me. I'm going hard in the paint. My husband will tell you, I won't stop. I will not stop. I will not stop. I cannot. And it's because I could feel it all. When I tell you I broke down and I in front of these people, I had never met a day in my life. Had never met them a day in my life. And the sweetness of all of it was they were extremely supportive and let me process through it in that moment. And they were gentle and they were kind and they were caring and they were loving. They were supportive. They were non-judgmental. And so that is what I bring because I received that same thing. Now that I've gotten that out there, I wanted to be able to just really share that with you. So if you don't know me, if this is your first time being here in these trainings, in this live stream, I'm Karena Calhoun. Now that you know my backstory, maybe you should learn my name now. Maybe I should tell you my name. I'm Karena Calhoun. I'm a life and business strategist. I'm an international podcast host, founder of the Rise and Thrive Womenpreneurs community for introverts. So in these trainings, again, I hold these trainings every Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I really like to focus on crucial topics for introverted women, online service-based women, entrepreneurs, and we cover sales, getting clients, being online visibly, all of this without the ickiness of it. Okay. And so, as you all have already been doing, please continue to participate because when you participate, it helps to create just really this rich and vibrant, engaging atmosphere, and it helps all of us to learn. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And so, Sandra, for whatever reason, if Facebook is not allowing your name to be shown to me, if I can't see your name, Sandra is very kind to actually add her name in her comments, so I know who I'm speaking with. I appreciate that. And so, I want to dive in, because it is not my goal to keep you here long, but to really give you usable, valuable information that you are able to walk away with. So, everything that I just covered prior, like I said, I typically don't go into all of that, but I felt the need to go ahead and release that today, and let you know why I am here doing what I'm doing. So let's dive into today's topic, which is, thank you, Halima, which is, we're really talking today about what I like to call the introvert's advantage. A lot of times people look at introverts and think there's a disadvantage for us being an introvert when it comes to success in business. And so I'm flipping that script, and there's an introvert's advantage in so many things that encompasses us as introverts. And so, that's why we have the introvert's advantage here. Okay. And so today's topic, we're talking about that, and then maximizing online visibility our way. Okay. Last week, we talked about maximizing our sales as an introvert. And so, one of the things that I wanted to begin with today is really helping us to understand some of the challenges that we're facing as introverts when it comes to online visibility. Sometimes this entire world, everything about it, for us introverts can feel overwhelming. And so sometimes we might find ourselves just really struggling with the consistent need to be out there, out there, out there, and be visible. And then in addition to that, we've got low sales, a lack. Sometimes that can come in addition to really compounding lack of confidence. So all of these things can be challenging, and it presents itself to us in our business. And so it can hinder us from really being effective. And one of the things also, when you think about it, networking, that seems like, oh my God, I hate networking. I don't want to ever want to do it because I'm an introvert. There are some things that we can do to make it less painful. Okay. To make it so that we have a strategy, so that we're seen and that we're heard. Okay. And we're not feeling like we're just like screaming out into this loud place called Earth. Okay. And so it's important to recognize that there are some common struggles or challenges that introverts may face. Okay. But I want to let you know that that doesn't reflect your potential. Okay. It absolutely does not reflect your potential. So, one of the things that we as introverts, because we are so extremely reflective, we can begin to really visualize the success that we want to have, really begin to see it, begin to be there, having that faith that we're going to get to where we want to be. You know, picturing that scenario of our business thriving, um, having unique approaches, imagining those sales coming in. I'm not going to say easy, but effortlessly. Okay. Not, and this is not because we're just like out here being loud. Okay. But it's because we are connecting very deeply with our audience. And so that's one of the first things I want you to begin to do. Um, just really envision that that impact that you want to have in your client's life. You're welcome, Sandra. So really begin to envision the impact that you want to have. Begin to envision all that you want. Begin to see that, because what happens is when you begin to envision this, you begin to make steps towards it. Okay. You begin to make steps towards it. You want to begin to embrace the qualities that you have in really as you begin to build your online presence. That's going to be the next thing. So first let's embrace let's first let's envision, then let's embrace. Okay? You've got incredible assets. And right now I'm working on flipping some things so that we see us in a different light. Okay? We are and people talk about this a lot. The reason why we're quiet is because we're deep thinkers, because we are reflective. So use that deep thinking as a catalyst for where you want to go. Use that deep thinking to create the content that resonates with your ideal audience. Does that make sense? We as introverts have deep empathy. This allows us to connect. That situation that I went through, that allowed me to have a deeper level of empathy. Not, you know, compassion, yes, but empathy beyond belief because I felt it in my very core. So use the empathy that you have, use the deep thinking that you have to begin to create that content that resonates with your ideal audience. So those are some of the first things that I want you to really begin to look at as you are looking to maximize your online presence. These are the types of things that will help you to begin to maintain this really authentic, I would say, personal brand that begins to attract your ideal audience. It begins to attract the right clients. I want you to start celebrating this. Start celebrating these qualities. The world and people that are destined and they have a desire to misunderstand introverts. They're saying, oh, you're shy, you're quiet. You're shy, you're quiet. Guess what? I'm not shy, I'm not quiet, I'm reflective, I'm thinking. So they're saying it with a not so good undertone. How do we lift that up? So as you are really stepping into your superpowers, your strengths as an introvert, and you're doing these things, you're seeing yourself in your success, you're embracing who you are, you're embracing your deep thoughts, you're embracing your ability to connect, you're embracing your ability to have deep empathy. Remember, compassion is feeling for someone. Empathy is feeling with someone. It's like you're in their shoes. So compassion is great, but that empathy, we have that ability to do that as introverts. So a couple of action steps that I want you to begin to really look at as you are maximizing your online visibility is this authentic storytelling. Use your natural ideas towards, whatever the situation is. Storytelling, dial into that, make it genuine, make it relatable. Then you want to have the consistent value driven content. Now, being consistent doesn't mean you're posting all the time. I just want to clarify that, because when I talk to people, they say, well, I just need to post more. No, you don't. You might, let me not say you don't, you might, but you need to be consistent. It means creating a schedule that works for you and you sticking to it. Your content needs to provide value, whether it's sharing your knowledge, your insights, inspiration. It's about quality over quantity. And then the next thing is really strategically networking. I know networking seems like such a bad word, but when we do it in a way that's beneficial, when we do it in a way that is non-aggressive, when we do it in a way that is not icky, it changes the game for us. You can find online spaces where you feel comfortable, where your ideal clients might be. And this could be specifically social media groups, it can be forums, it can be virtual events, it can be all types, it can be in-person events, it can be all types of things. I want you to remember that networking as an introvert, it does not mean you have to change who you are. It's about finding the right environment where your strengths can just really shine. And you're going to have a strategy. If you just go in saying, I'm just going to network, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a hot mess. It's going to be a hot mess. So I'm going to start to wrap up here. I really encourage you to schedule a breakthrough call with me. And I want to tell you, this is not just another sales call. This is steps towards understanding how to use your unique qualities to really begin to thrive online. So we can discuss specific strategies and how to really implement them in a way that's going to feel right for you. And Halima has dropped the link for you to schedule that breakthrough call so that you can get that information that you need. You can get the strategies that you need. It's a strategic call. We're going to look at your unique strengths, even as an introvert in the business area. We're going to take a close look at where you are in your business journey, identify the challenges that you have specifically for you. We're going to brainstorm some strategies that really resonate with you authentically. So this call is really about unlocking your potential, building your business, and aligning your approach with you authentically, who you are. You're going to get the insights that you need. You're going to get the practical steps. So this is going to improve your process. It's also going to really enhance your confidence in your ability to build your business in a way that 100% feels natural and genuine to you. So as I come to a close, remember that being an introvert in the online world is not a disadvantage. Not like people keep telling us. It's a different approach to success. And so your journey to a thriving online presence is unique. And that's what makes it and you so powerful. So I want to leave you with really embrace your journey with confidence, absolute confidence. And let's make your business not just visible, but unforgettable. Absolutely unforgettable. So I'm going to close out here again. Grab that link, schedule your breakthrough call, and let's get at it. Let's get at it. So I will see you all on the flip side. Bye for now.